Flash episode 12. Whoa. Goodbye vibrations. The Cisco farewell, the Carlos Valdez farewell, and we're also losing Camilla as well. Boohoo. This will be a quick one because, to be honest, nothing, nothing really happened. The episode started with Camilla and Cisco basically just telling Barry, Iris, and Caitlin, that they're leaving, and they're not even going like far. Like he's moving to Star City, which was weird because thanks to Oliver Queen, isn't Star City like the safest place on the planet? And but then Camilla said that she's gonna go to San Francisco to do her exhibit, like her photo exhibit, and then after she's done with the exhibit, she's gonna come back to Star City. Her and Cisco are gonna live together and build a life, with him working at Argus. So now that he's working for Argus, that kind of like killed it even more for me because I'm just like, bro, you're just moving one town, you're just moving one town over. But the funniest thing about it, the part that actually had me in tears, when they were basically just like, oh, we're leaving Central City, we're leaving Team Flash. Like nobody gave a damn. Like, go back and watch the scene where the two of them are telling everybody that they're leaving. Just watch Candace Patton's face, watch Iris's face the whole time. That shit is gold. Barry and Caitlin didn't give two F's, and Cisco felt some kind of way because he was just like, yo, I'm like leaving. He's like, this is OG Team Flash, you know what I'm saying? Like we've been down since day one, from loyal to the soil, like, and all that. And he's just like, yo, yeah, motherfuckers just doing, yeah, I really don't care, So then he goes and talks. So Cisco goes and talked to Chester P. He basically went to Chester to give Chester the keys to the kingdom, and then Chester was just like, yo, he was like, yo, because he showed him like Cisco's tech lab where Cisco builds all of his tech weapons and all his gadgets. Chester was like, yo, I didn't even know this room was in the building. So, so he starts geeking out, and then and that was a nice scene. It was actually a nice scene to watch Cisco pass the torch to Chester, and for Chester to like seriously embrace it, so then so like he's happy and everything. Camilla, her and Iris, they're trying to find her replacement. Iris isn't feeling anybody because she's like, nobody can replace Camilla, and then they go through this whole like Team Citizen thing, and then but then after that there actually is a villain of the week. Like we do have a villain, and it's the Rainbow Raider 2.0. This is a villain where when she puts the spectrum beams into your eyes, it makes the person very happy and very jolly. She went to a bank, she used her power on this one guy behind the bank. The guy was so happy, he was like, oh, I'll give you anything you want because life is just great. And then she was just like, yo, write me a check for $10 million. And then he cut the check. Homegirl went bouncing around to different places to go get as much money as she possibly could. Team Flash got the alert. Caitlin and Barry, they were both talking about what to do, and while they were talking about how they can take down this new meta, Cisco kind of walked in on them like having the conversation. So he's just like, so we just not gonna consult me now? Like he was just like, yo, this is supposed to be like my last mission, like me taking down my last villain. He's like, why would I not want to be a part of this? And then they're just like, oh, we thought you just wanted to pack, and this, that, and the third. There was even a moment where like Barry had packed Cisco's bags for him, and Cisco was like, well, that's fucked up. And then Caitlin, and then he was talking to Caitlin, and then Caitlin was just like, oh, like you'll be missed, Cisco. She's like, but I'm gonna need your keys though. She's like, I'm gonna need them keys, and I'm gonna need you to give up that Star Labs badge, you dig? And then he was just like, what the F? So, but then, like I said, like one more mission, one more super villain, one more big bad. So they go down there, like Mecha Vibe and the Flash, they go down and try to stop the person. She ends up using her power on Cisco. Cisco becomes all like happy and like cool and whatever. And then, after that, like, they're just like, all right, let's just leave him in Star Labs for a moment while that shit wears off. So then Barry goes down to try to stop her. She ends up blasting Barry. Barry goes back to Star Labs, and now he's like dancing and like doing the Macarena, and like him and Cisco are both just acting weird. Chester ended up coming up with something that can cure the whole Rainbow Raider thing. Chester cured both of them. They both snapped out of it. And then that's when Cisco got deep, and he was just like, yo, y'all on that bullshit, because he's like, I'm leaving, and I feel like you guys don't even want me around. He was like, if you really don't want me around, he was like, just say so and I'll leave right now. And then that's when it got emotional. And then Barry and Caitlin were just like, no, Cisco. She said, if anything, what they said was, and I guess Iris wasn't a part of this, basically what Barry and Caitlin had said was they didn't want to make Cisco feel guilty about getting over emotional and making a big deal out of the fact that he's leaving. So because of that, they tried to pretend like everything was okay. But he was just like, but both of them were like deep down inside. She was like, yo, we're an emotional wreck. We just didn't want to show it. And then, and then Caitlyn was just like, oh, she was just like, oh, like we didn't want to be emotional and cry and get all like lovey dovey and sappy. And then Cisco was like, bitch, have you seen Team Flash? It's like, that's all we do. Like, we have emotional moments and talks and everything. That's Team Flash. So they're like, they got their stuff together. And then after that, they're just like, all right, they hugged it out as Team Flash does. One last Team Flash speech for Cisco, and then they go to take down the Rainbow Raider. What she 2.0. What she basically ended up doing was she ended up stealing all that money to give to poor people, because she was from what I remember, they said that she was somebody that was working for like a company or whatever, and she I don't know if it was nonprofit or not, but when she was working for the company, she was legitimately trying to help people and trying to save people's lives and give hope to people that needed hope. She got fired for I guess for caring too much, and now that she has these metahuman powers, she actually wanted to use her metahuman powers for good, because all that money that she took from all those banks, she was going to dump all that money all over the streets, all over the poor streets of Central City, so the poor people, can end up getting their hands on money. What she was going to do is she was basically going to take all that money and dump it on the mean streets of Central City, and, like Robin Hood style, and feed the poor. And when they found out that that's what she was going to do, they were kind of just like, well, shit, I don't know if we should arrest her now. And then the girl even said, because she was just like, oh, are you going to arrest me, Flash? She was like, I didn't commit a crime. Those people gave me the money of that. And I was just like, she kind of got a point. I was like, so not only was she given the money, she's actually going to do something noble with it. So now everybody just kind of felt stupid. But then at that point, like something happened to the balloon, because she had stole a blimp or whatever, and that's how she was gonna dump the money all over the city. And then something happened to the blimp. The blimp was gonna crash into a stadium full of people, and they said that there was a football game going on between Gotham and Central City, and the blimp was supposed to crash into the stadium and like kill innocent people. And then the girl was like, oh, I didn't want anybody to die. And I'm looking, and they keep talking about like this football stadium, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, isn't that Star Labs? Like this whole time I'm like, I'm like, the blimp's gonna crash into Star Labs. Yeah, I keep talking about some football stadium. Anyway, so then like after that, they ended up getting Allegra to help, because they said that, because Allegra uses, vibrations, they said that her vibrations could counteract the other girl's vibrations, which it did. And then, after that, they were just like, yo, we got to abandon this blimp. But then Cisco was like, no, I can actually stop it. So then Barry, he sped Rainbow Raider and Allegra off the blimp. Cisco stayed behind. He used his genius to take control of the blimp, because he has the Mecha Vibe, like costume. So he plugged up his Mecha Vibe costume up to the blimp, and he was able to get control of the blimp. He stopped the blimp from crashing into the stadium, and then he saved the day. Now, what Barry ended up doing was, instead of locking the Rainbow Raider into Iron Heights, they put her in a program where she can work off her sentence, but she can work it off by actually doing something good for the community, so she gets what she wants at the end. She called the Flash my hero, and it was all sweet and dandy. Team Citizen had, like they had like their farewell brunch or their farewell like cocktails or whatever. They all said goodbye to Camilla, which was sweet, which was very sweet. And then, like everybody else, they had, they had a party for Cisco, to say goodbye to Cisco. They had they did the montage where they showed like Cisco clips throughout the course of the entire season. They even showed clips of him and Gypsy, which I thought was nice, to say goodbye to Gypsy as well. Like they did the whole montage, and then, like I said, like Chester was still in the room, playing with all the gadgets. Cisco did his thing, and then, like he exited Star Labs, and like that's how the show ended. They were upstairs in the lounge. Cisco, Caitlyn, and Barry, Joe. Actually, were they at the lounge or were they at Barry's apartment? Like either way. But anyway, they started doing karaoke, and then they ended up singing the song that Cisco played when Barry first woke up from his coma. They played that on karaoke, and then Cisco was just like, he chose that song because he was just like, oh, it said on Barry's Facebook 7 years ago that was his favorite song. And then Barry was like, yo, I don't even know how that shit got on my Facebook. But they ended up singing the song karaoke style, everybody except Caitlyn, but Caitlyn still had a microphone. Like I said, and that's how the show ended, and we said goodbye to Vi. And then here's where it got kind of real, because I remember a few episodes back, Cecile was in a situation where when Psyche had taken over her mind, she started like hearing voices from like some other person. And I thought that was Sykes' voice that she was hearing. Apparently, there's this cosmic being that's in Cecile's head, and Cecile's been trying to find this person for like the last 3 episodes. And I guess that's where she's been for a while. And then she looked into the mirror. I don't know if the real Cecile is trapped and this other person took her place, or they like having this mind thing going on. I don't know what's going on, but I'm actually very interested because it's kind of creepy. And then they actually showed a picture of who the person was, and it was like some woman wearing, it basically looked like Cecile wearing a mask. And when I saw the mask, I was like, is that Dr. Fate? And I mean, I could be wrong, but it looked like Dr. Fate's mask. And if it is Dr. Fate's mask, I'll be very happy about that, because that means we like, if Dr. Fate is going to pop up, because we saw Dr. Fate's helmet on the Wave Rider. If Dr. Fate shows up on the Arrowverse, I'm like, shit, we can get back Oliver Queen. you know what I'm talking about if you follow the Oliver Queen story. But we'll see. I want to know what's going on. I mean, now that Cisco gone, now that Cecile gone, now that Chester took his rightful place in Starlight, I want to know what's going on with Cecile. It's all about Cecile right now. Let's get the Cecile thing going until Barry's kids show up, and then we get Godspeed to close out the rest of the season. So thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you think about Vibe. Let me know what you think about Cisco leaving the show, Carlos Valdez. If you want to wish him well, like, thanks to him. I do give him thanks for giving us, all the Cisco t-shirts, all the one-liners, all the comic book bangers throughout the course of the last 7 seasons. But like I said, we got Chester now, so it's like Cisco never left. So definitely check me out on Twitter, check me out on YouTube, check me out on Instagram as well. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns, and let me know where you think the Flash goes from here, because like I said, we're at episode 12. We got 10 more episodes to go, and I still ain't seen no Godspeed. So that's it, guys. For the Marvel side of things, the Loki review for episode 1 coming up this weekend, and we'll review that as well for all the Marvel fans. But we still got this DC going, because Batwoman comes on this Sunday, and that's when my boy John Diggs shows up, and he better have the ring. So thank you for tuning in, guys. So until next time, for the Flash, for the new Team Flash, take care, and I'm out this bitch.